All right, what's good? So, dealing with kind of a whole lot of little things, from, I guess, the social media verse. Social media is always popping, and black creators are there's a revolution right there on social media since the quarantine. Black creators, I know, like myself, we've doubled and tripled our comic book production. People that have never done comic books before, they're doing it, and I mean, we're learning. All right, so today I want to express myself about, I guess, audiences, not necessarily category and categorizing, but more so like targeting your audience or target audiences and stuff like that. And in books, literature, right? We have categories, urban, horror, mystery, science fiction, and those are what alert the reader to what the story is going to be about. They have YA, and YA has similar subcategories, but it still comes off just like generally YA. And they're named by the themes that are dominant in the story. YA is an adolescent character, and the adolescence is the driving factor in their story. Think of Percy Jackson, think of Maze Runner, okay? Two different subgenres, right? One would be fantasy, one would be post-apocalypse in the adult section, but in the young adult, they're right next to Hunger Games, and I don't know why Ender's Game isn't in the YA section, but I think Ender's Game is just older than the YA section, so they didn't get in on that. So there you have it, right? Now, the conversation on social media was about, who are you targeting? What is your target audience? And I'm like, I've never, well, this was with regards to comic books, right? And film is even different, right? Film, you got your title, and film, you have your genre, right? Is this horror? Is it comedy? Is it sci-fi, action, thriller, drama? All those are film categories, right? But comic books, you had comic books and you have graphic novels that announce it. They don't really have categories. Now, graphic novels, you might have crime, right? I've seen that. I've seen, like, we have Sword and Soul. I've seen cyber funk or cyberpunk, space. I like to say superhero, but I don't think that's really a genre. Horror is very, very broad, because I don't even think cyberpunk and cyberfunk are genres or categories, right? Maybe Sword and Soul and maybe horror. And that's it. I don't even know if comedy is one in comic books, right? I don't know how to get this out of me. We'll just deal with it. So the conversation came up, and somebody was like, what is your audience, and what, how does it sell, and do black people buy? And I was just like, only time I ever had somebody from a comic book company ask me about my target audience was a black person. And I'm not saying that black people are hung up on it. Maybe it is important for black books to know their audience, but I don't even look at it like that in terms of who you're targeting. When I write a book or a movie, I produce it in the particular genre or category, and then let the chips fall where they fall. The only time I'm really targeting an audience would be with, like, YA, because that's the only one that has a specific audience. Otherwise, you're producing a horror. Who the ever likes horror is going to be attracted to your film. You know, even like, you know, with black characters, it's a black character horror. People like, you know, so like, was Ma targeted towards black people because of Octavia Spencer? No, it was a horror. You know, Get Out, it was a mixed cast. Who was it targeting? You know, maybe because the director, maybe because it said it's black. Some people want to track themselves. Oh, it's black, can't get into it. We don't deal with that. Like, my first experience in entertainment is the music industry. I'm from Teaneck Records, New Jersey. I like the way I said that, right? Teaneck, New Jersey, right? And we got more music industry people than I can count on two hands, right? Everybody's got fingerprints in the music industry, you know, just in my graduating class, right? Producers left and right, and artists, all that. So I understood it. We all understand music industry, right? You know, I would say 70% of the black people in Teaneck Records, New Jersey, understand the music industry. And because of that, I learned that, music and art are cross-cultural. So take, for instance, Too Short. Who else was it? Naughty by Nature, right? Onyx, right? In the 80s, the early 90s, Tupac and then we're pushing gangster rap, NWA, right? Two Live Crew. And I'm a Hotep, right? So I'm Pan-Africanist. In New York, we was like, nah, man, we need more KRS-One, Public Enemy, Poor Righteous Teachers, Brand Nubian, X-Clan. You know, we need more of that. Public Enemy, we need that. We need that. And they coming with this, I want a gangster be, and I hate that Patrick gets, the poster song for that. But he lucky because he only had one good song. And don't tell him I said it because he's really a gangster. Maybe he grew out of it, all right? But anyway, gangster rap we was battling that. Black people was actually opposed to it. They was crushing tapes. What's her name? C. Dolores Tucker was out there talking about it on Congress, but it was rising. It was rising. Who was supporting it? Who was its target? You understand? I want a gangster be. Who you think is the target? Rapper's name is Apache from, the hood in New Jersey. Who's the target audience? You could say black people, right? You could say, the C. Dolores Tucker was the one saying, they're bringing us down. You know what I'm saying? They're teaching and putting these values on our kids. They were actually going to Congress talking about, these songs and these lyrics targeting our young people. We still say that to a certain extent. But guess what happened? Gangster rap took off. Who was buying it? Not the target audience. White people, white kids, white girls. I went to this, right in the middle of that, 95. I went to Omaha, Nebraska, hung out with a bartender, and she played more Too Short than I could tolerate. She played Too Short. She played album cuts from Tupac, and I like Tupac, but she was going in NWA, Two Live Crew. I was like, you got a really wild impression of black people because I'm an NAACP person. I'm a Hotep. I'm Pan-African. You understand? I've been to Africa twice. By 95, I was like, come on, you killing me. What's going on with this? But that's what happened. So when it comes to like gangster rap or categories and target audiences, gangster rap is my go-to. So when I do my comics, when I do my books, when I do my movies, I just put it out there and I expect everybody and anybody to like it and enjoy it because it's like reggae music. You could say, is that for Jamaicans? No, it's not. It's for the world. You know what I'm saying? It's for the world. Ain't nobody got no private music, no private comic books, no private. I don't know how to do a target audience. Maybe somebody could tell me. The only way I can see it is with young adults. And you're not really dealing with young black adults because you never know. Maybe the bias from parents would be like, it's just a nice character. I know I've seen more than enough. I saw more white kids dressed up as Black Panther than I seen black kids. And I'm in a black city in Miami. I started taking pictures of them. So I don't know what y'all talking about. I need to understand what target audience is in a comic book world, period. Because this black publisher was like, yo, your book, Twa Man, you don't know the target audience, so I can't mess with it. And I was like, you kidding me? I went on and made $2,500 on Kickstarter and got my book made. But at the end of the day, I still don't understand what they're talking about. I mean, target audience may be helpful in terms of branding, but you don't have to stick exclusively to that target audience, So I don't know. Y'all can like, comment, share this. Of course, subscribe. Hit me up because this is something that I don't know about. I actually wonder if it is even good. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot. Like this is a black sci-fi. Of course, you're going to promote it at black conventions, no doubt. But those are conventions where on the menu is black, but that doesn't mean the customers are only going to be black. It's different. Like Kentucky Fried Chicken, if you even was to go with the stereotype that black people love fried chicken the most, that doesn't mean that only black people are going to come into the restaurant. It doesn't even mean that you should put black people in the commercials eating it. You know what I'm saying? Now, we know the flip side is that white people eat more fried chicken than black people. It's just that, we put more seasoning. I'm joking. But it's just that, in the hood, we got a lot of small chicken joints because we cook it. It's just something that we can easily make. Fried chicken transcends cultural lines, so there's something to that everybody claims to have it, different from spaghetti and other American dishes. Fried chicken is like hamburgers. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna have a hamburger. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no black and white hamburgers. It's hamburgers, son. Ain't no black and white fried chicken. It's fried chicken. You understand? It's Cracker Barrel. The only fried chicken I ain't really eat was Church's, and that's because some KKK rumors, but it still keep me from eating it. And actually, I told my mouth I don't really like it, and I don't really like it that much. Had it maybe once. All right, so let me just get back. I don't really believe in these target audience stuff for comic books. I don't know what the value of it is. I don't know how to do it. I don't know if it's true. I just put my books out there. Now, I do go into young adult, but I don't expect only young people to read Fingernails. That was my young story. I like Scooby-Doo, but maybe because it's young, there'll be more young people to like it than older people, but I don't expect only young people to like it. All right, y'all. That's it. Like, share, subscribe. Sci-Fi Express Lane, Jeff Carroll. I'm out. And also comment. My bad.